and that it pays to get a reading before the conference begins.
Morning, gentlemen. How's the coffee?
I was just thinking how good it was.
Excellent. You know, if I had a little more notice of these conferences, I'd skip breakfast.
Well, I gather from the gourmet delights we have around here, we have bad news.
Now there's a typical tech man for you. No, Jim, just the opposite. I've got good news. I suppose you gentlemen have heard the rumors about the new contract. Well, it came through. And if we can meet its requirements, as I know we can, our people will still be working when some of our competitors begin dropping employees like hot potatoes. Now, our company has always paid well, frequently above scale. Now, the company needs your help. I'm going to be calling on each one of you for some small sacrifice during the next 3 months in order to achieve a tremendous security for the future. And I know that's what our people want the most.
Just one question.
Go ahead.
I take it you're talking about stepping up the schedule.
Right.
If you say the job can be done, that's good enough for me.
Yes, I do.
Just outline my part of the operation and I'll be ready to go.
Thank you, Peterson. I knew I could count on you.
You can count on me, too. But if we're going to be doing this job on top of our regular one, I'd like to know what you're going to expect in the way of quality.
There'll be no drop in quality. If any inferior parts get into the market, it'll hurt the reputation of the company. No, sir. There'll be no lowering of standards during this period.
But, sir, you're talking about stepping up our schedule, and we've only got so many inspectors. I think you know as well as I do that I'm not going to be able to inspect that many more items with the same size crew.
They can always do a little bit more. I know what speed these inspectors work at normally. I used to be one myself. And I say that we can all do a little bit better for a short period. Now, if necessary, I'll authorize some overtime. But I'm not going to give out a blank check. You'll have to justify every hour.
Well, that answers my questions.
Oh, now look, Jim. You men are going to have to trust me. That's all there is to it. Have I ever let you down before? Have I? Believe me, gentlemen, I know your problems. At one time or another, I've worked in every one of your departments.
Mr. Alton uses conferences to communicate his ideas, not to get information or a group decision. He knows just what he wants and how to get it done. The men are protected from making a wrong decision, and sole responsibility for failure must be Mr. Alton's.
Now, as I put the big picture together, it may mean hiring 1 or 2 loaders and moving a few men up. Perhaps a couple of those inspectors of yours, Menotti. If they're anything like I was, they're dying for a higher rate on the line. And I like to give a man a chance to improve himself. Now, Pete, I want you to hold down the overtime, but do what is necessary to get the job done.
Right.
Fortunately, gentlemen, this contract ends with the holidays. And I want you all to know, if everything goes right, I'm going to toss one fabulous shindig. There's one thing, however, that really would make me sore. And I want everybody to know this. This is a special contract calling for special measures, special efforts from everybody. It's a real challenge. And I'm not going to use the speed that we achieved during this period to set any new production standards.
That'll help.
One more thing. I don't expect to be questioned further on this by anybody. I give my word on it, and that should be good enough for the people who work for me.
What else is there to say?
I don't ask for this kind of effort often, but I'm asking for it now. I want it, I need it, and I'm going to get it.
Well, you can count on me. I'm with you.
Me, too.
Does anybody have any tobacco? Why is it whenever I need a smoke, I can never find any tobacco?
I think that'll be all, gentlemen.
Mr. Alton, obviously, is at this, the telling end of the scale. The division here between leader and group is clear and rigid. He keeps decisions, control, and information to himself because he does not get or want much participation from his men. To be successful, therefore, this kind of leader must have a very broad and diversified experience to support his decisions. What should Jim do? Should he handle this as Mr. Alton would?
Gentlemen, I called you together to inform you we're going ahead on that contract with General Products. I think it's a real step forward for our company. Now, I know it may put some strain on our facilities and manpower for a 6-week period, but I know we can do the job. Well, I'm getting paid to take the responsibility, not to pass the buck, or take chances on anyone else's ability. And I wouldn't lose control. But would I be getting the best out of each man? I've got good people working here. They must have something they could contribute to this decision. And if I don't let them participate now, what about the long run? That's something my second boss, Mr. Demeter, used to stress. He sure would have handled this differently.
You've had a chance to read, study, and discuss this contract with your people. As you know, the question is a very important one to our company. Now, we can use any of several alternatives on this contract. We can turn it down completely. We can subcontract. We can work overtime, add another shift, or possibly even step up our schedule. Now, I suggest we take out all the alternatives we can think of. Take them one by one, consider their feasibility.